So many business owners and executives come to us and say, I need help with human resources. And our first question is always, what do you mean? Human resources, that old term, has come to mean so many different things. So we thought we'd give you some explanation as to what the common areas of HR are, so you'll be able to understand exactly what you need and who can do it. So in the HR ecosystem, we want to find out what needs to be done. Well, most businesses need support with payroll and benefits administration. That is, doing the paperwork, filing the paper. When a new employee comes on, onboarding them with all their list of papers and forms they need to complete, and offboarding them when they're terminated. But most often today, especially with businesses with less than a few hundred employees, this is done automatically, digitally, and with technology. And technology has replaced so many of the old HR administrative positions. The best bet, go to your payroll company and say, I'm looking for a human resources management system. For a couple of $100 a month, they'll be able to automate this process, and you'll no longer need a full-time person to do it. The next level is employee relations support. And this is a more technical requirement for a position, and it requires somebody with a little bit more education, experience, certification. This is for questions such as an employee is pregnant and they want to know their leave options, or you'd like to terminate an employee and you need guidance on the best way to do it and your options to reduce risk. Or your employee handbook needs to be updated, and this person will know the policies that need to be added, replaced, deleted. This is somebody who can make sure all of your employees are compliant with the Minimum Wage, Equal Pay Act. They've worked at different organizations, so they understand how to do those types of things. Typically, this is served by an HR generalist role. But if you have less than 150 employees, those types of issues don't take more than a few hours a week at most. So almost certainly you don't need a full-time employee to handle those issues. The next area is performance management. And this is more focused on workforce optimization, things like that. So this would be areas like coaching or corporate culture design and enhancement, employee engagement surveys, not just being able to administer a survey, but to be able to interpret its results, focus on ideas for improvement, handling employee grievances, handling vendor vetting of different human resources areas, a strategic advisor, somebody who can manage talent management, innovate new ideas. That is performance management. Another area is leadership development. This is where leaders are developed, trained, coached, and improved. This person is not only a coach, but a trainer. This is a sophisticated level person. And again, you have to ask yourself, I need this, but do I need a full-time person to help me do it? Most small businesses do not need that full-time person. And then there's specialty areas ranging from compensation consulting to talent acquisition to recruiters to very specialized areas such as safety, workers' comp experts, and things like that. So what we're saying is this: you need those things, but do you need full-time employees to do it? One person probably isn't going to be able to do all of those things, so you're looking to outsource for what you specifically need. So now that we know what needs to be done, the question becomes, who needs to do it? Do you need full-time people? Do you need part-time people? In the design of an HR structure, what is it you need? And who do you need to do it? So, for payroll, benefits, HR administration, that title is called an HR and payroll administrator or coordinator. That's somebody who's been processing paperwork and doing this type of thing for 1 to 3 years. They're an administrator. They can answer very basic employee HR questions. What form do I need to fill out for such and such? This is usually at smaller businesses with less than 70 employees or so. That's combined as a payroll coordinator, or it might be even the office manager who does those tasks. The next level is employee relations support. This is done by an HR generalist. An HR generalist is somebody who usually has 4 or more years of experience, definitely a certification or an education in human resources. This is not a position where you can take an existing employee who's never been in HR and say, learn everything you can about it. To be a generalist, you have to have had experience, because you can't do what they do learning from a book or taking a test. So this person can answer usually 80 or 90% of human resources or employee relations questions without needing the expense of an attorney. This is a person who is very capable of conducting human resources audits, different types of payroll audits, minimum wage, things like that, to make sure you're compliant. This is the primary role where somebody is minimizing your risk. That position is an $80,000 to $95,000 a year job. The next position that handles usually a combination of employee relations and performance management is called the HR manager. This is somebody with 7 or more years of experience. They have a college degree, and they definitely have a certification in HR. They have broad HR knowledge. They've worked for a large company or corporation, and they've worked in different areas of human resources, such as compensation, talent acquisition and retention, human resources, employee relations, all the different areas. They have a master of broad HR knowledge, and this position usually manages 2 to 3 full-time HR people. Generally, when you have 200 or more employees, that's when you need an HR manager. And currently, the range of pay, depending on where you are, is $110,000 to $140,000 a year. For performance management and strategy, which is really workforce optimization, that title is a director of HR. This is somebody with at least 10 years of experience and wide experience in HR, but primarily from a strategic standpoint. They have definitely worked at major companies. They've led people before in the human resources function. This is almost always for a business with 500 or more employees. They have 4 to 7 full-time HR people on staff. That range is $135,000 to $170,000, usually plus a bonus. And then finally, for strategy and executive level work, that title is a Senior VP of Human Resources or a Chief People Officer. These people have 10 years in human resources at least, and they've done training, they've done recruiting, they've done culture development. And that's what they focus on, strategy, culture. They are advising C-level executives, and they're overseeing all of HR. This type of position is for 1,000 employee or more. They are global. They have multiple locations. This position almost always reports to the Chief Executive Officer. And depending on the type of industry you are and the location, that in anywhere between $200,000 and $400,000 before bonus. So finally, where does HR outsourcing play a role in your business? Well, if you've determined that you don't need full-time employees for all of these things, Symmetry can help you in several areas. We can be that employee relations support. Employees, managers, or executives can call us. We'll be proactive, and we'll support those issues. We'll answer those questions and advise you. We'll make sure you're compliant with HR. We will be the ones responsible for helping you minimize risk at your company. In addition, our performance management services and programs can allow you to optimize your workforce and improve workflow. Finally, Symmetry can also help with specialty areas such as recruiting, safety, compensation. And if you need support in leadership development, our sister company, the Tanzanite Leadership Development Corporation, handles leadership development for businesses and organizations throughout the country.